Hello future CS, welcome back to my channel again. Your one-stop guide for everything related to CA exams. If you are new here, I am Pooja, a chartered accountant. I have an experience of working for Ernst & Young and KPMG and I help CA aspirants like you succeed with practical tips, strategies and support. So recently the ICA revealed some of the common mistakes committed by students in the past exam in CA Inter Advanced Accounting. In this video, I have summarized those errors with an example each. So please watch the video till the end and also note down these errors so that you do not commit these errors in your exams and you do not lose your precious marks. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe. Every subscription works like a motivation for me and it makes my day. So guys, when you visit my channel, in the playlist section, you can see there is a separate playlist for CA Inter exams. So in this playlist, you can find different type of study plan, subject specific guidance and much more videos. And there is also a playlist for CA GPT for students. In this playlist, I have made different videos in which I have shown as to how you can use CA GPT while preparing for your exams. So do visit my channel and watch these videos. And there are various other playlists as well which might be helpful for you. So let's start the video. So the first error noticed was not giving proper working notes. So the examiners have repeatedly mentioned that many students don't include detailed working notes. Remember, in accounting, the solution is not just about the final figure. It's also about how you have arrived at it. There is stepwise marking. So for every step, mark will be given. Suppose you are preparing balance sheet and suppose if the final balance sheet doesn't tally. So in this case also for each and every step, mark will be given. So even if our final answer isn't correct, if you have done it stepwise and if you have given proper working note, you will get marks at least for those steps. So do not miss out on writing working notes. For example, you are solving any question relating to property, plant and equipment. For example, accounting standard 10, you are solving a revaluation problem. So don't just write the final revalued figure. Show the working of upward revaluation, depreciation adjustment and transfer to the revaluation reserve because there will be marks for each of these steps. The next error noticed was ignoring assumptions in multiple approach questions. So sometimes there is a possibility that a problem can be solved in more than one way. And if you are making any assumption relating to that, it's very important to mention it clearly. Otherwise, even a correct answer may lose marks. Because if you do not give the assumption based on which you are writing the answer, the examiner may not be able to follow your logic because he won't be able to understand, right, what assumption we have taken. So if there is any ambiguity in the question or if any information is missing in the question and an assumption is required to solve the question, you can make the relevant assumption. Ensure that your assumption is logical. For example, in AS19 leases, so suppose you are solving a question relating to leases and the classification of leases is doubtful as to whether you have to classify as finance lease or operating lease. There is any ambiguity in the question. Hence, you are taking an assumption and you have decided to go ahead with your answer by treating it as finance lease for suppose. So, give a detailed assumption and write the logic as to why you are treating it as finance lease. Write in detail your assumption and then solve the answer accordingly. The next error noticed was wrong or incomplete reference to accounting standards. So many a times it was noticed that students either quote the wrong AS number or misquote the para numbers or misquote the provisions. So if you are not 100% sure about the AS number or para number, it's better not to quote them. Because if you quote the wrong AS number or wrong para number, there are chances you might lose the marks. So instead it is better you at least explain the provisions in detail. So for example, if you are answering a questions on contingent liability, the AS number is 29, but you do not know the number. So you can just write as per accounting standards, and then you can continue your answer. That's better than quoting the wrong AS number or wrong para number. So while studying itself, what you can do is in one place you can note down the accounting standard name and number, and you can try to recall this multiple times. Revise this as many times as possible. Even on the day of the exam, morning before you go for the exam, revise this. Because if you quote the accounting standard number and name in the exam in your answers, this will like add more weightage to your answer, and there are chances you will get more marks. However, if you are not sure about the standard number or para number, don't quote the wrong numbers. The next error noticed was lack of conceptual clarity. So it was noticed most of the times students often fail to connect the conclusion with the AS provisions. So whatever question you are given, it is very important to conclude the question as well. For example, if you are solving any question relating to goodwill and if there is any impairment of goodwill, so you have to quote AS 26 intangible asset and you have to mention that impairment loss should be charged to P&L. So this shows that you are conceptually very clear about the concepts. Instead of just writing reduce the goodwill without reference to impairment treatment, this leads to loss of marks. So it is very important. So if you have any question relating to AS, so first what you have to do is first you have to write down the facts of the case and then you have to correlate it with the relevant provisions. You have to identify as to the facts belong to which AS, which provisions of the AS. Then you have to write down that. Then you have to write what is the issue involved. Then you have to write the relevant calculation and then you have to give the conclusion at the end. Because for each of these steps, marks will be given. The next error noticed was carry forward mistake. So one of the most common and silly errors is wrong carry forward of balances from one page to another page or from one account to another account. Or simply when you are copying the figures from calculator to your answer sheet also, if there is any error, this also will lead to wrong computation. So once a number is wrong, all subsequent workings will get affected. This leads to heavy loss of marks. Hence, always double check your brought forward and carry forward balances from one page to another page, from one account to another account. And even when you are writing from your calculator, ensure you write the answer with the presence of mind. For example, while preparing a consolidated balance sheet, if you carry forward reserves as 1,20,000 instead of 12,000, all further computations like minority interest, goodwill, etc., everything will get misstated and this will lead to loss of marks. So be very careful that you do not commit this error in your exam. The next error noticed was ignoring the correct format of the financial statement. So for your CA Inter exam, the Schedule 3 of Company Act Division 1 is applicable. So you have to ensure your financial statements are in this format itself. Presentation matters a lot. And ICI checks whether you can prepare the financial statements as per Schedule 3 Division 1. So wrong formats will lead to unnecessary deduction of mark. And also in your study leave, when you are studying or when you are attempting the mock test paper, RTP, previous year paper, etc., always practice balance sheet and P&L in the correct format so that even in the exam pressure you don't miss the correct headings and the totals which is there in this format. The next error noticed was missing out on recent amendments. So ICA updates the syllabus regularly and most of the students lose marks because their answers don't reflect the latest changes. So always ensure you go through the BOS knowledge portal and check if you are studying from the latest study material which is applicable for your exam. And also see if there are any amendments which are applicable for your exam that will also be displayed on the portal. So you can easily find out from there. And also ensure you revise the ICI RTPs, MTPs and go through all the amendments before the exam so that you can solve the questions based on the latest amendments as applicable for your exam. The next error noticed was not restricting the answers to the marks allotted. So sometimes it was noticed that students write pages together of irrelevant theory for a small 4-mark question. This wastes a lot of time. Plus it doesn't fetch extra marks either. And also it happens that if for a small 4-mark question you are wasting a lot of time, there might be possibility there might be one more question. Suppose preparing a balance sheet or consolidated accounts which is of more marks. Plus this type of questions require more time to write. So when you go to that question, you might not have time to finish that question at all because you wasted a lot of time in writing this small 4-mark question. So it is very important that you write the answer based on the marks allotted to the question. And also remember that quality is over quantity. So you have to match both. First you have to see how much marks the question is for and then allocate that much time itself and write as per the requirement of the question. And if there is any question which requires preparation of balance sheet, P&L and the marks also for that is more, ensure you allocate more time for that. So in this way, you have to do the planning. So when you're studying itself and when you're attempting your mock test paper, at that time itself, you have to do the time management practice also. Because later on in the exam, in the rush, you won't be able to practice it in the final last minutes. So those were the most common mistakes committed in the CA Inter Advanced Accounting exams. So if you carefully avoid these mistakes and write your answers with proper working notes, clear assumptions and the right format, you can easily stay ahead of the crowd. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more exam related strategies, tips and accounting standard insights. All the best for your exams and I will see you all in the next video.